All right, so guided project 2-1 for Microsoft Access. It says open up the database, which we did. It says the file will be renamed, which it is. Let me turn the highlighter on. All right, enable content and the security warning. There's the enable content. Yep. All right, so instead of doing the datasheet view, this time we're going to use the design view. So click the table design, create. So create and table design. So this is another way to create tables. This is the way I'm more familiar with as far as creating tables. All right, 5 says add new fields into the table and set field properties. Type branch in the field name. So I'm going to type branch. And I'm going to tab over to the data type property and I'm going to select, well, it already has short text listed for the data type. And then in the description, I'm going to type unique branch name. So that takes care of 5A, 5B, 5C, and then it says click the primary key and the table tools design. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to my tools group, and I'm going to click primary key. Now, one thing about the primary key, that is a unique identifier for each record. So just think of your bank account number. In the database that the bank that you have a account at, that bank account number is going to be considered your primary key for their database. That means that no one else besides you has that unique account number. So keep that in mind. That's what a primary key is. It's just a unique identifier for whatever record you're using. So I'm going to click that. And then it says press the tab to move to the next record. Five F says add the remaining fields into the table using the information. Click the save button to save the table as branches. So save. Table name is going to be branch. I can't spell. Branches. It is a good idea to periodically save a table when you are creating it so you don't lose your work. Alright, 5N says click the row selector to select the row branch. Alright. Type 30 in the field size property box in the field properties area. So down here is the field properties. This is the field size. We're going to change that to 30. And that takes care of 5O. Alright. Set the required property to yes if necessary. Alright, so it's already set to required. So this, if you click on the different properties, it'll tell you what the properties are for. So this means that you have to enter something in this field. That's why it says require data entry, yes. So it's already set to yes. So that takes care of 5P. 5Q says click the row selector address. All right, I'm on address. Change the remaining field properties in the branches table using the following information. All right, step 6 says create an input mask for the zip code. Click the zip code, the zip field. Click the property box for the input mask. And again, if you select the different properties, input mask is a pattern for all data to be entered. It says it on the right hand side, just in case you forget what one of these properties does. Click the build button, which is this right here. So if you hover over it, select the zip code input mask. All right, so zip codes should look like this when we enter them. We're going to click the next button. You see the input mask here. You see the input mask name. We're going to click next again without making any changes. Select the without symbols in the mask like this radio button. Without the symbols in the mask like this. Yep. We're going to click next. Or actually just click finish. And then it says save the table. Right mouse click, save. And that takes care of 6H and 6I. Alright, as you can see in the input mask, you see the input mask. This is how the zip code is going to appear in our database. Create an input mask for the phone field. So I'm going to select the phone field. And I'm going to click on the input mask button. I'm going to click the build button. Then I'm going to select phone number, which is already selected. Then I'm going to click next. And then I'm going to click next again because I'm not going to change anything on this. I like the format the way it is. And then I'm going to just keep it without the symbols in the mask. So it's pretty much just saying when someone enters any phone number, it's going to come out looking, regardless if they put any of the symbols in, it's going to come out and format the way I want it to be formatted. And then I'm going to click finish, and then I'm going to save my table. Moving on to step 8, enter records into the branch table. So change the datasheet view of the table or change to it. And again, if you want to change it, I usually use these icons down here. So you have your design view and you have your datasheet view. This is how you go between the two. All right, and when we said we wanted a default value of California or CA, each record is going to default to CA, and we can always change it to whatever state we want to put in there. But for the default, anytime we create a new record, the default state is going to be California. All right, so it says enter the following records into the branches table. The date open values will display in the medium format, date, month, year, after you enter them. So after you enter all the data, you want to save and close the table. So that takes us to step 9. 9A says open the employees table in design view. Now, before you open it, it tells you to open it up in design view. So we're going to right mouse click on the employees table and we're going to select design view. So it takes us to design view. If you were to just double click on it, it takes you to the datasheet view, but we don't want to be in the datasheet view. We want the design view. So we right mouse click and we select design view. Select the department field, which is here. click the property box for the data type here, and it says Lookup Wizard. So this is going to allow us to, when we're entering the record, when it gets to the department field, it's going to allow us to use different options. All right, so that opens. Select, I will type in the values that I want in the radio. So I will type in the values that I want. I click next. (9F) says click the first column in the COL column, the first cell in the COL column, and we're going to type administration here. So administration. Then I'm going to click the down arrow, takes me to the next, health benefits, health and benefits. Then it says click the down arrow again. And then I'm going to type insurance, sales, click the down arrow again. And I'm going to type property and casualty. And then after I type property and casualty, I'm going to click the next button. I'm going to limit it only to the list because we don't want anything else. Limit to list. And then I'm going to click finish. And then I'm going to select save the table if prompted to test the existing data against the new rules. Click yes. So I'm right mouse click save. I wasn't prompted for anything. So now I'm ready for step 10. All right, so even after you enter that, we're going to go to the Datasheet view before closing this. And if you click the drop down button that appears, you see you have those options that we typed in. If you go over to the title, you don't have the drop down button because we didn't do the lookup wizard. So this is pretty much what the lookup wizard does. It allows you to click. So if we selected, entered a new row, we have that drop down button where we can select the department name. All right, 10A. All right, before I even read 10A, verify the existence of a foreign key and create a one-to-many relationship between the branches. All right, so this is where we're going to start linking the different tables together based off of, one table might have a specific primary key, which this one has employee ID, and then I can't remember what the branches table primary key is, but this is how we're going to start linking the tables together so that these two, they communicate with each other and they know what's in the other so that, you can get more information. And this is how databases are made in banks, at colleges. The government uses a lot of databases. They link a bunch of databases together so that they can get the information they want without having to open up different tables. You open up one table, if it's a link to another table, then you can get some of that information. So we're going to open up both tables in the design view. We already have the employees table open up in design view, so we're going to open up the branches table in design view, and you see the branch is the primary key for the branch table. The employee ID is the primary key for the employees table. Edit the description property of the branch field in the employees table to read branch assigned to must match a branch in the branches table. So if we go down to, we're in the employees table, make sure you're in the employees table. You see that it's highlighted, it's shaded kind of like a light red color when you have the table selected. So we want to go down to our branches field and we want to change the description to say branch assigned to hyphen must match branch in the branches table. So make sure you type that in there. All right, 10C says save and close any tables that you may have open. So I'm going to save employees table, close. I'm going to save the branches table, close. All right, next, click the relationships button. That's database tools, relationship, and I'm going to select branches, and I'm going to click add. And you see as I'm clicking add in the relations tab, you see that the branches table is displayed, and then it says select the employees table, and I'm going to click add, and there's the employees table. Then I'm going to close the relationship dialog box. So I want to spread them out a little bit, and I want to see all of my fields. So I'm going to expand. I'm going to make each table bigger so I can see all the fields that are listed in each table. Release the pointer, drag branch field. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to hold down my left key on branch in the branches table, and I'm going to drag it over to the employees. All right, so now it should bring up a edit relationships dialog box, which it says it in the instructions. 10I says verify that the field names displayed are correct. If necessary, use the drop down arrows to make corrections. So we have our branches table, we have our branch field, we have our employees table, and we have our branch field there. Click the enforce referential integrity. And then I'm going to click the cascade update related fields. Checkbox. All right, and see before I start talking, leave the cascade delete related records checkbox not selected. The company does not want to delete employees just because they may close a branch. This allows them to reassign employees. So if you were to close a branch or to delete a branch, that means that all the records would delete if we had this selected. This just updates the records or the related fields. So it's very important to follow, to have the different check marks done or selected. Click create. The relationships window updates with the relationships line added. The 1 and infinity symbols display indicating that referential integrity is enforced. So when you see that, once I click create, it's going to show that if infinity symbol, which means many, then you'll see 1. So I'm going to click create. So you have a 1 to many relationship between the branches field in the branches table and the branches field and the employees table. So it means that you have 1 here and there's a bunch of branches listed in here. So that's what that 1 to many relationship is. It says save the changes made to the relationship. So I'm going to right mouse click, I'm going to click save, and then it says click close. So I'm going to close the relationship table or relationship. All right. Step 11 says enter the following record into the employees table to test the new drop-down list. So I'm going to open up the employees table in the Datasheet view so I can start entering data. And for the employee ID, it's going to be 200. Timothy Hanson, Cameron Park, insurance agent, and then I got the option to drop down, or I can just start typing. As I start typing, you see that it automatically enters whatever department it is, or I could have just used the drop down button. And then start date is 9/15/2016, and base monthly salary is $3,900. Make sure I put it in the right. Yep. All right, so that takes care of step 11. Now it says save and close the table. 13, open the branches table in the datasheet view. Adjust the width of the field so that the entire field contents show in each field. So I'm going to open it up. I'm just going to double click, and I'm going to select this triangle here, right here in the left hand corner. That selects everything, and then I'm just going to auto fit the address column, and that should auto fit everything. So everything gets auto. I guess it didn't. It did not. All right. Swift. Says click the plus sign to the left of the branch field for Cameron. So once you click the plus field, you see that it lists the employees that are at the Cameron Park branch. Same with Folsom. Same with Granite. All right. Yeah, let me see. So yeah, there's 11. So there's 11. We can confirm that there's 11 employees at Cameron Park by looking down at the records. And if we select Folsom and click inside of Folsom, it says that we have 4 there. So it looks like everything's lining up properly. Click the minus to close the related. Yep. All right. So it says preview the data records in the branches table before printing. We're not actually going to print, but we will preview it. All right, so we'll go to File, Print, Print Preview. Right now it's in Portrait. We want to change it to Landscape. So we're going to click on the Landscape button. That takes care of 14A, 14B, and 14C. So it says it should look similar to that, which it does. So that's good. Close the print preview button. Save. Close. Save and close branches. I did. And now it's ready to be uploaded.